Metalheads. I'm here with Piotr from VADER. I'm Simona from Moshpit. So hello and welcome back to Romania for the big line.
Pleasure.
Did you receive positive feedback from the listeners and the media concerning your newest release? Welcome to the Home Drive.
The thing is like 99% of those feedback, nice and cold. It's pretty good. It's like, probably even more than I ever expected. It's really exciting. Great news, album, which makes me glad. At least the most important fans really like that album. That's really exciting.
Yes, I see. In 1990, you released a demo called Moshpit. Is it somehow connected to the newest album?
Just this new album is over 20 years, 20 years of life experience and technical progress. So that'd be just not even possible to record like the same thing like in 1990. Of course, like. Still like on the top of our abilities. So that's the only thing we can compare. It's the same passion, it's the same heart, but definitely better sound and as I said, like more experienced musicians, people. So fun what to say.
Yes, I see. In the past years there were some lineup changes. Was it natural progress? Or there was some misunderstandings between you and
yeah, because I'm a motherfucker and I hate people. And I don't know. The reality is like people are changing. People are different today. Not everybody can stand to be in a band, being far from families. And sometimes people join the band before they need time to see how is that to sacrifice themselves, be in a band like that. We're a professional band, so actually we focus on the band, but we spend like a bigger part of the year like being on tour in practice. So it's like the high price we have to pay for this kind of life.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just like misunderstanding between me as a leader and somebody who like I'm commander in this band since the beginning, so and I don't like people to change the style of band just because somebody joined. It's just like if you want to do something else, you still can do it your own, but it's not. VADER had a style we found years ago, and we followed that style. Been just evolving in over the years. VADER's VADER, and we'll say VADER.
So the current lineup, can we consider it a solid one? What do you think?
I may just hope that we can stay for a little longer in this lineup because it's pretty strong, and you will see tonight. First, we have like better musicians like the team, and I really believe that we're like better friends. So we're not just in the band because of the same job, but just because of money. We're trying to be friends, which is sometimes not easy. Because we actually now a band. So everybody came from different part of the continent. Drummer James is from London, so different country. So as you see, being a team, you still may be a band, even if we're from different parts of the world.
Yes, I understand.
But we spend so much time together, so actually we like a family. It's really that would be not possible to leave if we would not like each other.
Yes, I see. What do you think of the actual music industry situation? Because nowadays all the musicians are affected by illegal music downloading. And as a matter of fact, the younger bands can't afford living by selling their albums.
Metal is, and probably will be focused on playing live. VADER was always into stage and doing that in real. We never really counted on fees from albums selling this kind of stuff. And this business is, especially today when you mentioned the internet,
yes,
it's raging around and you can have a music for free, so usually like people downloading that. And The bad thing of that side is the music quality has gone down. People, once they pay for something, they focus on that, spend more time in listening, not just putting something in the background. So that's my opinion. I can compare how was it in the 80s, let's say the 90s, and how it is now. But the world is changing, and we're not going to follow these new rules. The story is just going to die as a band. So we're still trying to keep the spirit, still trying to infect people with the good music and some meaning of the music, and not just using the differences in the world and in the business. As I say, sometimes it's really changed in business, and we're trying to follow that, like internet, like design, like blogs and things. The internet now is like over 90% of all information ever been. In the 80s was nothing. It was just newsletters, mails, regular mails, not like emails. And it's the biggest change. So media, of course, like there was no media support in the past. Now metal is like a part of the business, so existing in media and TV, in the radio stations, in the color magazines, and so that's a big change. Not just for good, because of course you get more every fan get more opportunities to find information about his bands he likes, but from the other side, passion has gone down, because if you don't need to fight for what you have, it's not as strong as it was in the past.
Yes, I understand. What do you think of the great death metal band like Morbid Angel and Piotr, who decided to change on their latest album their genre by adding modern elements from other musical styles?
I don't know. I really like to keep this for myself. It's my opinion, private opinion. I don't like share it with the people and try to give them opportunity to follow. Everybody should have an own opinion about everything. And Morbid Angel, maybe I don't understand what they're doing, but they walk in their own way. It's history. I don't really understand. We walk in our own way in the business, And for me, even if it sounds weird, I have to respect it. As long as Morbid Angel is so good on stage, and they are, so as long that you can record even the dance music. So I don't know. Music on stage, that's for me important. That's my opinion.
Yes. And what do you think about Metallica's album? It's so controversial.
I didn't really hear it.
Yes.
I don't know nothing.
Okay. I know that one of your hobbies is history, especially war. Yes, which is a continuous source of inspiration for your albums.
No, it's part of my life, being a hobby, so definitely it's kind of like an inspiration, like everything else. But I rather, even if I use sometimes my knowledge of history, or symbols we use like in the designs we use in the next albums, it's just something we use in the past. But history and being a member of a reenactment group, so playing a soldier, an old guy now, so it's kind of like feeling like childhood from a second side. It's just the best way of touching the real life history and to get friends and to play war, not to involve in war. So this is something every man likes, with no blood, no violence. So we're fighting in front of camera, but then we drink beer together and we have fun. We're friends. So we play or not killing each other. So that's a good thing, and this is probably the best lesson for the next generations. It's all about war. It's good to play, good to read about that. It's good knowledge, good to know about history, but it's better to keep it and play, not to kill. Really.
Yes, and do you think that war and violence are the only ways to solve the major conflicts between the nations nowadays?
War is humanity, and as long as there will be people who have almost everything, they have power, they have money, and from the other side, the people got almost nothing. So as long as the war will be existing. So people are greedy. The more you have, more greedy you are. And if those guys will still like deciding about our life, and we're not gonna think in our own way, just gonna follow, because it's always easier as long as the war will be existing. So this is hard to explain. I'm keeping far from politics. I don't want to be like a prophet and guy who play a man who knows everything. I'm not a guy, but I'm a watcher. I know history, and this teaches me a lot about humanity, about war. So even if I like to read about this, I really want to keep it on a book, not. As I say, war is humanity, and we may just believe that there's nothing really bloody gonna happen in the future. But we should be thinking before, not after something happens.
Yes. Can you tell us in a phrase your opinion about the following concepts, religion and politics?
You should know. Just if you know the VADER, so you should know what they think about that. Religion is like an opium for masses. It's the same like politics. It's the same, just using different words, different suits. It's a controlling people.
Yes.
This is part of religion. It's the same.
Manipulation.
It's manipulation.
Which of your albums do you think is close to perfection?
Oh, please. I'm a composer and also a fan of the music, so I'm not the guy who give opinion, especially about my own works. So I put my emotions into music, into words, record it, make an album, and the other fans listen to it, and they like it or not. But I can't give opinion about VADER, albums, because I like all of them. So each one is part of my life. And each one was like, you may see differences as somebody like listening, looking at that from a distance. But for me, this is like next part. Each album was like the next step in my life. Same important.
I understand. From the places you've never been, where you would like to have a tour or something?
There's still so many places undiscovered and ready for VADER, so I'm just ready. It's like not so long time ago, for the first time we were visiting Nepal, and we really expected nothing. Because nobody was playing really then. Of course, there is a scene, pretty good one, and there were like over 4,000 people waiting for us, and we gave them a joy, we gave them like power, and it's just the best gift for us being members of the band. If you bring that music to the unknown place, like as a pioneer.
Nice.
So I just like it.
So, considering the fact that you are for the fifth time in Romania, what do you think of the Romanian fans?
I love fans. Fans actually, still giving me a reason to be. There's no band with no fans. It's like art with no people watching and describing, believing. So the same us, every place, same Romania. So we be coming and we see people happy, ready for VADER and hungry for more. So we're here. So if we are fifth time, probably that'll be the sixth one.
Yeah.
So it means that VADER still not just business by mistake. People want us, so as long as they will need us, so as long as we're gonna step by, have an next door, play, have an next album.
Okay. And in the end, can you give us a message for the Romanian VADER fans and the Moshpit readers?
So I'm Peter, singing guitarist in VADER, and I'm really glad to have a chance to talk to you in the Moshpit magazine. So stay metal and support metal.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And
Mucho más.
cheers. Good luck with your tour. Thank you very much.